You ever feel like your own mind is kind of working against you? Like it's just stuck in this endless loop of worry and stress? Well, today we're going to dive into a really powerful way of looking at anxiety. The big idea here is that it's not some personal flaw. Think of it more like a system that's just ready for an upgrade.
And this quote, man, it just nails it. It reframes the whole problem, doesn't it? Your mind isn't broken hardware. Nope. It's just running some buggy, outdated software. And the best part? Software can always be updated.
All right, so let's dig into this old OS idea a little more. Basically, you can think of anxiety as just a symptom, a sign that this outdated system is humming away in the background all the time. It's what creates all that mental clutter we feel. It's driven by our ego, by these kind of distorted perceptions. And there's a term for that in this framework. They call it the false I. We're going to come back to that one for sure.
Okay, this comparison just makes it so clear, right? On one side, you've got the impulsive mind. That's our old OS. It's like a smartphone with like 200 apps open at once. The battery's at 1%, you've got zero signal, and its default ringtone is just straight up anxiety. But then look at the other side, the calm mind, the upgraded OS. It's like that same phone on airplane mode. It's focused, it's fully charged, it has a crystal clear signal. And its default tone? Gratitude. I mean, what a shift from total chaos to total control.
Here's another great analogy for all that mental clutter. The anxiety Excel sheet. Think about it. Every single day we're adding new rows to the spreadsheet. New stressors, new conflicts, new worries. And each one is like getting a notice from the IRS. If you ignore it, it doesn't just go away. Oh no, it multiplies. And pretty soon you're caught in this vicious cycle, all powered by those old buggy mental patterns.
So, the big question is, how do we actually start this upgrade? Well, it all begins with step one, awareness. I mean, it makes sense, right? You can't fix a bug if you don't even know it's there. So the very first thing we have to do is run some diagnostics on our own minds just to see what's really going on under the hood.
And it's actually a pretty simple two-part process. First step, just notice. That's it. Just pay attention when you feel that little flicker of anxiety or stress pop up. And then, step two, track it. Write it down. This super simple act starts to create your own personal diagnostic report. It takes all those invisible patterns and makes them visible, so you can see exactly where that old OS is messing things up.
All right, so once you've used awareness to identify the bugs, it's time for step two, installing some new software. This is the active part. This is where we really start to rewire our reactions and overwrite those old, automatic, buggy patterns with new, intentional ones.
Now, the main tool for this software installation is mantra practice. But, and this is a huge but, we're not talking about just mindless repetition. That's not the game here. As this quote points out, the secret sauce is adding knowledge and understanding to the mantra. When you do that, you're tapping into your subconscious mind, and that makes the whole process of rewiring your brain way, way faster.
So here's how you do it, broken down into 5 simple steps. First, just set your posture. Find a position that's comfortable but steady. Second, observe your sensations. Just notice what's happening in your body, in your mind, without any judgment. Third, chant with meaning. Pick a phrase like, "May there be peace for all," and don't just say the words. Really feel the intention behind them. Now, step 4 is super important. Notice resistance. If you find your body starting to move or your mind wandering off, that's it. That's a sign of the old system resisting. The delusion is fighting back. And when that happens, step 5 is just to gently guide it back. Don't fight it, don't get frustrated. Just like you would with a little kid, gently bring your mind back to the mantra.
Okay, on to step 3. To make these changes really stick, you can't just install a new app, right? You need admin access. You need full permissions to change the entire system. And getting that level of access, well, that requires a pretty deep shift in your mindset, a shift to what this framework calls humility.
But that brings up a really good question, doesn't it? Why humility? Of all things, why is that the key to making lasting change? I mean, why can't we just muscle our way through it with our intellect?
Well, here's the answer. Because humility is the only thing that can bypass the system's biggest security threat, your own ego. It's the master key that disables all the resistance coming from that false I we talked about earlier. It's what lets you actually start the journey.
So what exactly is this false I? Think of it as the ego-driven part of your mind. It's basically the gatekeeper for that old buggy OS. Its whole job is to resist change. It dictates orders to your intellect, and it loves to ask these useless, distracting questions, things that keep you stuck in the same old loops, instead of doing the real work.
And all of this leads us to the fourth and final step. which is the real end game here, owning your inner peace. This is what it's all about. It's about shifting from looking for temporary external fixes to actually building something permanent and stable deep inside yourself. And just think about the difference in this way. You can rent happiness, right? That means it depends on other people, on situations going your way, it's temporary, it's conditional, it's super fragile. Or you can own your inner stability. That means you generate it from within. It comes from your own inner conviction. It's resilient, and here's the best part. No one can ever take it away from you.
This quote right here, this is the declaration you make to yourself when you're ready. It's a choice. It's you deciding, you know what, I'm done letting the outside world dictate my inner state. It's deciding you're finally ready to build something that actually lasts.
So let's be clear. The goal here isn't to completely eliminate anxiety. That's kind of a myth, right? Life is always going to throw stuff at us. The real question, the real journey is this. Once you've started to build that inner calm, that inner stability, how do you maintain that inner fire? How do you keep it burning? And that is the thought I'll leave you with.